Welcome out, everybody, to our essential oil online class for the week. This class is about vetiver. So vetiver essential oil, fantastic. I think it smells like dirt, and I like it because that's a good thing.
It's nice. It's really nice.
Yeah.
All right, welcome everyone. First of all, I would like to ask you for your stories of vetiver, because I know that the listeners have told me that they really enjoy hearing people's stories and how they've used it in their homes. So you go ahead, if you have a story that you want to share with vetiver, you can share that. Anybody? How do you use it in your home?
I absolutely love it.
Okay, it looks like Austin.
Let's go first, Austin.
I use it on my feet before I go to bed to help me get a nice restful sleep. What else do I use it for? I just like smelling it because it's really calming and grounding.
Yes.
Especially at work. And also just walking around so everyone else feels calm. Because I tend to make other people a little stressed at times. Because I'm stressed. So when I'm calm, everyone else.
True. That's right. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Who else?
Was it Des that was going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing as Austin. I love to use it for sleep, and it is very calming.
Thank you. I don't care how many people say it, but the more people, the more stories we collect. And if 5 people say it's great for sleep, it's great. Anybody else?
I've got one, Jade.
Marissa?
Yeah, I put it actually in my deodorant blend, mostly for the centering, so that I have it on every day, pretty much all the time, because I'll put it on in the morning and the evening. And I like the way it smells, but in a blend, it doesn't have quite as strong a smell. So for those that don't particularly love the smell, it helps to blend it with some of the florals.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. So perfume, that's one of the things that people use vetiver for. Very good.
Okay, we had someone here who was going to say something.
I was going to share too. We've used it for our boys for a long time, just to calm them down, help them focus, help them sleep and relax. I used to make a peaceful child blend, which is very much like our peace blend today, and so I don't make it anymore. I just use the peace blend. It has vetiver in it, and it's great. And I, like Austin, absolutely love the aroma of vetiver. Mm-hmm. To me, it smells like mountain dirt, and I absolutely love it. I could bathe in it.
Very good. Awesome. All right.
So, like sometimes when you're really stressed and stuff, and you just need to go outside and get your feet in the dirt and the mud and everything, and just that grounding of, touching nature. That's why I like it. It does. To me, it smells like dirt, and putting a little bit on your big toe helps. Kind of ground you and connect you back to nature. That's
very good. And Debbie Gordon, she has 5 boys. She knows what she's talking about.
Oh boy.
Oh boys. Anybody else want to share your vetiver story?
So it's not really like a use for it, but to me, the smell of it smells very like creamy. Almost reminds me of peanut butter.
It's funny because some of the girls that we talk to, they say the spikenard smells like chocolate.
Yeah.
It smells like food. Awesome. I saw somebody else. Okay. So, KY Welch 22. I'm just going to unmute.
I'm going to unmute you. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Okay, there. I like how thick it is. It's like the thickest oil, but it seems like it spreads really easily, and then a little bit goes a long way. So I'll put it on like my big toe or my feet, and it seems like it spreads a lot quicker than the other ones. That's my favorite.
Excellent.
Yeah,
fantastic.
That's true.
Yep, love it. So I love the stories, guys. The vetiver is just beautiful. It smells like dirt, but I don't know, it has a very warming and calming aroma about it too. I had a friend, and she's a very tall woman, and she does massage therapy, and she uses different oils all the time. Now, she had a hard time sleeping, and she said, she texted me one night, she says, I have used every oil, Jade, every night, and she said she hasn't found one that really helped her sleep. And I suggested perhaps she can put vetiver on her big toes, and she said, oh, I didn't think about that. So she did, and at 10:30, I was going to bed, and she texted me, she says, I can feel the vetiver going up my legs. And after that, we went to a meeting. We do Chamber of Commerce luncheons, and she was at the luncheon with me, and she just interrupted, because I only have, like, you have your 30-second commercial, you know, everyone takes turns in sharing what they do. So she, as soon as I stood up and started speaking, she interrupted. She said, oh, I got to tell you guys this. And she said, listen to Jade, she has something fantastic. And she said, last night she told me about an oil called Vetiver. It smells like campfire. And she said, I put it on my toes and it just calmed me down. And she said she had the best night's sleep. You know, she was at her wit's end thinking, I'm going to have to turn to a drug because I've tried all these different oils and it just hasn't worked. So everyone's different. But I'll hopefully share with you why I think it worked for her. But yeah, she just testified. Campfire, oil, you know, so that was amazing. It's really cute, so I remembered that. Yeah. Anybody else want to share? All right, we're going to get right into it, and perhaps you have some things that you want to share in a minute. So with this, I just have a quick summary. It helps with focus and concentration. Vetiver helps with learning and attention. Right?
So cognitive things.
Cognitive. Grounding and centering, calming, relaxing. It's great for sleep and resting. It's good for skin and stretch marks and scars. After birth blues, okay, and other emotional things about being aware of yourself and being connected. So if I want you to have a picture in your mind. This vetiver is a grass, actually, and we get the oils from the root. When you look at the root, it's like the brain electrical pathways in the head, right? So it's got a stem and then it goes out like that. And it's funny how, have you heard of people saying, you know, what the fruit looks like is what it's good for, right? So like an avocado is good for the uterus, right? So vetiver is like that too. It's very good for brains, connection, and connectivity. So imagine what it can help with when our brain, it's all connected, okay, the left and the right brain, and even within each hemisphere, okay? So, you know, just all in all, it's great for the muscles, for spasms, sprains, strains, great for the liver, congestion. And, you know, when your brain is connected and communicating, again, your body is able to balance. So people that have eating disorders, right, it's because their brain is not balanced and they're not feeling hunger again. And with vetiver, they've had some research that proves that it helps people feel hunger again. Because there's certain people that they get to the point where they don't feel hungry, so they don't eat, and their body wastes away. So there's a lot of books. The things that I share every week is just stuff that I've experienced, things that I've read, and I shared with people that I find is helpful. But there's so much that I can't share, and there's so much that I don't share on the call. So I recommend that you get some of the reference books and read up on it and read up on the research too, okay? But one thing I want to share here, it's very important, vetiver, it has a chemical called sesquiterpenes, and it's basically a molecule that delivers oxygen to cells, okay? And it helps with your cells rewriting again, so it's like the communication has been disrupted. So that's the idea. If you get that down, if you think, okay, all the pathways reconnected properly again, it'll make a lot of sense to you why it's great for the tissues. It's great for, that's why we talk about skin. It's great for sleep, which is everything calming. Everything is just flowing, okay? And it helps relaxing and helps people focus. Sometimes we run around in circles. We're trying to make connections and things are not happening because we have disruptions. We have toxins or chemicals or something in the way of our thinking. So that's what Vetiver can do. It kind of helps clear out traffic. So does that make sense, everybody? If you picture Vetiver as doing that job, right? Okay, so we have a very short video. Should we show you guys? Our Vetiver comes from Haiti, and normally the Haitians, they have been exploited by their Vetiver, because of their Vetiver, and they grow it for perfumes, and perfume companies will buy it and then kind of pit them against each other. And when doTERRA came in, they helped create a cooperative. So these people learn to work together
and get rid of the middleman.
And get rid of the middleman. They have this, a place where they distill, a distillery, right? And then they can work together, and they leave the Vetiver plant in the ground for 18 months to 24 months. It depends on how long.
Because it's higher therapeutic value if they leave it in the ground.
Yep, so it's not the 2 months that it used to be, so they leave it longer.
Which is what more perfumes do.
Yeah, and then it develops therapeutic properties.
But before they didn't have any monetary reason for leaving it in the ground longer.
Yeah.
doTERRA's kind of come in.
They pay them on a regular basis.
Yep. Because they needed money right then, so they're like, "Oh, this is money sitting in the ground." So they harvest it before it's good. It's got the therapeutic value, but doTERRA pays them while it's still growing.
Yeah, that's right. And what they found was they didn't have a school, and they didn't have a school because the kids can't go to school. And what were the kids doing? They were walking up the hill to get water for their family, and it was hours up and hours down the hill. So doTERRA saw a need, and so they helped create a water source for them. And you see in the video how people just praise God and thanked for for the water. And then now they do have a school there, and these people are just thousands and thousands of people have work. So I think every time I use Vetiver, I am so honored to have something so powerful. And also, I know that I'm helping the people in Haiti. So it's just a win-win for everyone. Okay.
I think these stories make the product even better. You're like, oh, yay. Just something special about it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is just doTERRA's video on YouTube. Can everybody hear that okay? So I guess I should read it out for the people who are listening. After arriving in Port-au-Prince, we drove 5 hours to the town of the Cayennes. Here, we would be able to meet with our production partners, see the distillery, and meet the Vetiver growers. Because we know a lot of people are listening to this, and they're not able to read, but it's listening here.
So we hiked up the mountain to be able to meet with the people who were harvesting the vetiver for us. The first reaction I had was hope. It was beautiful. It was lush and green. It was very different from what you see in the cities in Haiti. And the next thing I really noticed was how hard they work. Their calloused hands, their weathered faces.
Vetiver
is a really interesting crop in that it's a very hardy grass. It can grow just about anywhere. It was introduced there primarily for the fragrance industry. And we have targeted for the aromatherapy industry specifically, both with our partners on the ground there and the cooperative we're working with to grow our raw materials.
The manual labor required to harvest vetiver is quite incredible. It's much harder than what I ever imagined. And they do this day in and day out. Not only do they pull the vetiver plant out of the ground, But then they've got to take a stick and they've got to beat the dirt out of the root system so that all they have left is just that pure vetiver root.
15 to produce 1 gallon of oil. 500 of these bells to fill up one of those 20-foot tall stills. And after it's harvested, you'll get 1 gallon of oil for 5 guys' work for 15 days. Haiti, being the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, truly is an ideal place for co-impact sourcing. They have tens of thousands of small-scale farmers who are largely unorganized, and our being able to go there and truly make an impact, a difference in a country that badly needs it, presented us a great opportunity to undertake our sourcing initiatives there.
A lot of effort. That's the distillery that they built there.
Planifier sous quantité vétiver qui pousse et récolter.
In February, we met with members of the cooperative to discuss the challenges they face and assure them of our commitment.
As we met with the cooperative and to be able to really understand some of the challenges and trials that they were dealing with. First of all is that the income that they were receiving was not sustainable. They would go out and harvest vetiver as they needed it, but it didn't sustain them throughout the year to be able to provide for their family, to provide the food that they needed, to be able to provide even the simplest of things like education. They couldn't afford to send their children to school because they didn't have that sustainable stream of income throughout the year.
Today, we had a great meeting. They proved to me personally, I even cry after hearing certain things, that makes me more motivated to have those people working very hard in the vetiver field to make it a better life. Even if I have a distillery and I don't have those people, I won't be able to work. And even if those people have their field full of vetiver and they don't have their distillery, nobody will be able. But it's like a chain on a motorcycle, on a bicycle that is going thief after thief, So we have been doing that work and having a company like Vetiver, coming and have the same vision, same route, and have all the Haitians in the vetiver field have a better life, including myself.
What touched me the most as we met with them is to discover that they had no access to clean water, and that they were traveling for 3 hours every single day to be able to collect water that wasn't even drinkable.
This was really very touching to hear, certain people in 2014 that didn't have water, to even bathe or water to even cook their food. They have to walk hours from where we were to get a single gallon of water. And myself, I don't accept that. I want to change their way of life, but I won't be able to make a miracle.
As we sat there, we understood the desires of their heart to someday have water. We made a commitment that we would bring that to them.
3 months later.
Just pictures of people praising and
we can make a difference. We can do that because that's what we stand for.
So this is the new water facility that Vetiver built for that region. For those of you who are just joined us, we just watched a video on Vetiver video.
Wasn't that awesome, guys? You know, I am happy to pay the price, you know, for Vetiver. It's not cheap like lemon, but I know where that money's going to help those people. What, 5 men, 15 days for 1 gallon. That's a lot of work. And there's a lot of families that this industry provides for. And, you know, the source, it was the Healing Hands Foundation that provided that. So, you know, $1 in your loyalty rewards order every month adds to that fund, and they use that fund to do things like that. So, you know, that's amazing. You can be here in your country but still have a powerful influence and bless other people in the world. So really, really like that ability to help people. Okay, so let's go to the body, the things that the vetiver oil can do for the body. Can everybody see that?
Can everybody see that? For those of you who are listening, that's just at jadebaldwin.com/vetiver.
Yep. Okay. So, of course, it helps with the skin. It's very thick, so you can dilute it with your fractionated coconut oil, and it helps normalize oily skin. So if you have acne problems, that will help with that. Okay. Helps with just hydration. All right. So it helps with tissues and tissue repair. That's why it's great for scars. There's plenty of oils that are great for skin, mostly the floral oils. So you can mix vetiver with those oils, okay? And that would be good. But the thing with essential oils is that you have to use it consistently. Vetiver is thicker, it stays on your skin longer, but other oils, they might be metabolized within 3 to 6 hours. You have to reapply. Okay, and that's the key to essential oils. A little bit, but often, and that makes a big difference. Okay, any questions on that? Anyone want to comment? Okay, all good. Now, white and red blood cell stimulation, we need that to help with fight infections and to boost immunity. Okay, so it keeps your body clean and just literally helps with fighting those invaders inside your body. Okay, so you can put the vetiver on however you want to, but as you use the oils, it'll go into your system and help your body stimulate that. Okay, so that's important. Also, I read something about jaw muscles. You know how people have that tension and locked jaws concern. So if you use like a 1 ounce fractionated coconut oil mixed with 4 drops of helichrysum, 3 drops of white fur.
Excuse me.
Instead of white fur, we have Siberian fir, which is even better. So 2 drops of vetiver and 2 drops of balance, and you can mix it up and rub it along your jawline towards your ears. Okay, and do that consistently. Okay, and within a few weeks you should see some relief. Okay. Yeah. The other one is post-surgery. I remember talking to, yeah, go ahead, Debbie.
I just wanted to add something about the red and white blood cell stimulation or stimulant. Again, I'm going to go back to pregnancy. Very often, well, we still see today that some women have a craving for dirt during pregnancy, we call it pica. And when they have a craving for dirt, most of the time they are also lacking in red blood cells. And this is a great, great oil for that to use in pregnancy. Helps with that craving for dirt, and it helps stimulate the red blood cell formation.
Awesome. That's really great, guys. I hope
wild, crazy cravings, I tell you what.
Well, yeah, your mom said you crave what raw potatoes, sort of like the dirt. So awesome.
Someone else had something?
Yeah, I was just going to ask Debbie if she thought that the craving for dirt was maybe the woman needing to ground more or to connect with the earth a lot more. Because I find
It's very possible, but we do see a correlation, Austin, with the need for additional red blood cells.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, but
during my pregnancy, they said, if you're ever craving dirt or metal, talk to your doctor. And I was like, why would I ever crave that? And so now I know that it could be with like the red blood cells.
Yeah.
Is why they could be craving that. So that's interesting.
Yeah. Awesome. And your body knows how to balance. So that's great. That's great. You read the signs of your body. How cool is that? We are so blessed to have Debbie on our call. Cool. Alrighty. Also, remember we talked about tissues? Dr. Hill, a while back, he mentioned that, because I brought a friend to him after some of these executives don't just go and hide, behind the curtains or anything. They actually stand around and talk to you. So Dr. Hill was doing that. And my friend in Australia, she just recently had surgery, and she used the oils, and it was a miracle. She felt like it saved her life, because she was stooped over in pain and all sorts of things for a month or so. And people just kept on saying, go to Jade, see if she has something. And so she had something, right? Jade had something. And then she was like scheduled to have another surgery on the other ovary. And we talked to Dr. Hill, and Dr. Hill said, your biggest problem will be, after surgery, that pain, the spasms and the tissues, reconnecting and joining up again. And so he suggested oils like bergamot and helichrysum, oils that help with spasms. And vetiver is one of those. Okay, so as your tissues heal and connect again, you want it to connect properly, and you don't want it to be stretched and hurting you with all the spasms. So Dr. Susan Lawton has this wonderful blend, and I found that. So I'm just putting it on here. I haven't used it because I haven't had surgery of any form. So vetiver, 4 drops, lavender, 3 drops, helichrysum, 2 drops, Siberian fir, 2 drops, okay? And this here, she suggests that they take it internally, okay, for relief when it starts to stretch and heal. That's really interesting. So guys, try that. Sorry I haven't used it, but I've sent people to different blends, and they've said it's good. So if you need that, that's a blend for you. Okay, and I think the other blend that I got from Dr. Hill was frankincense and Roman chamomile and bergamot, actually. All right, that's another blend too for post-surgery. Any questions?
Or anybody have anything they want to add?
Anything to add? Okie dokie. Okay, there's sweet sleep that everybody was talking about. So you can mix 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, fractionated coconut oil, sandalwood, 6 drops, wild orange, 2 drops, ylang ylang, 2 drops, coriander, 1 drop, and vetiver, 1 drop. You can mix that in a separate bottle, and then you can put it in your diffuser, rub it on the bottom of your feet, however you want to do it. Just get into your brain, smell it, and those oil molecules will go into the brain and help it produce those calming chemicals. Okay, I like putting it on the big toes because it's the reflex points for your head. Okay.
It's a good use for like old bottles. So like, how we make roller bottles all the time,
Yep.
But this is a diffuser blend. This is meant to be diffused like while you sleep. But if you put in all these different oils in your diffuser, it might be a bit overwhelming. So mixing it together in a separate bottle, just write super sleep on it or whatever, and, and just a couple drops of that already blended for your diffuser.
Yeah. So guys, if you try one oil, say lavender, and it doesn't work for you, don't be discouraged, because that may not be the concern for you, to do with sleep. Maybe you can relax. Your issue could be that your brain is needing to connect and to be grounded, and vetiver might be the answer Okay, so just try something. And unlike drugs, we try this and we try that. It's not going to make a big chemical soup and explosion inside of you. It's just, mixing oils. Sometimes I think of it as fruit salad, right? It's plant food.
Yeah, there could be lots of different reasons why you're not able to sleep. So.
Yeah, and as you get more connected with yourself, you will know why. You'll know what the issue is. So I have a box of oils next to my bed, and I know tonight I feel like this, and I need to use that. This is what I need tonight, and it could be different from night to night. Okay, and you'll soon be able to read yourself.
I find Vetiver is good for deep sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we know a lot of people have experience in this. So what are your stories?
How well do you sleep?
How do you use Vetiver with sleep?
So go ahead and unmute yourself, guys.
So when I use it on my feet, I just feel very well rested in the morning. Like sometimes, you can wake up and you just feel like you could go back to sleep again because you're just still exhausted and you haven't really gotten that full cycle of sleep that you really need. And so with using the Vetiver on the big toes, because that correlates with the brain, it helps your brain to just kind of remind itself it's time to go to bed, and you can go ahead and have this deep sleep, and you have dreams again, because when you don't have light sleep, you don't dream a lot. And so the Vetiver, you have dreams, and it's fun to go ahead and use, and it's fun to have dreams because it's just I don't know, it's more creativity that you get while you're sleeping, and I don't know, I like my dreams. So
right, because you escape into a different world, right?
Right.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for sharing.
I have referred many people that have horrible night dreams to use Vetiver during the night or before sleep, and it's really wonderful for that. And I have used it for sleep, and I would agree, man, it's just a really sweet sleep. I love Vetiver for sleep. I'm really glad they added it to the Serenity Blend a couple of years ago. So now my husband loves the Serenity Blend with the new Vetiver cedarwood wholewood added to it, and so it's just a great combination.
Yeah, we were naturally doing that blend anyways. We did the Serenity and we threw in Vetiver anyways, and now they did it all for us. So hey, that's awesome.
Thanks, Debbie.
Yeah, well done, everyone.
Anybody else?
It's funny when you share essential oils and you tell people, this will help you with great sleep. I had a few people tell me, I sleep really well. Right? And I thought, that's great, good. One lady said she slept very well. And the next time we met, she says, with the oils, I slept so much better. And so her definition of well was 5.5 hours. Right? And that because we're used to it, we think that you can't complain. Okay, that's fine. But when she introduced the oils into her sleep routine, it was like, whoa, 8 hours. And I woke up thinking, where am I? What's happened? Just woke up refreshed, and that was different, right? So sometimes we settle. That's what I think. So never know. Just give it a go and see if your sleep is better enough. Okay. So remember that, guys. Great for sleep. It's good for your children too. For joint or muscle pains after injury, it's very similar to what we talked about with post-surgery blend, because it just helps with tissues, and it could be the fibers of your muscles. All right, so this blend here is 4 drops of vetiver, 3 drops of lavender, and 2 drops of bergamot. So here's bergamot again. These oils help with the spasms as things get sewn up again inside of you. Okay. And of course, like other oils like cedarwood, it's a bug repellent. Okay, so you can use that and spray furniture and stuff that's new. That if you can leave it outside. Some research said it's fantastic for termites. So there you go.
Anybody have any experience of using Vetiver for bugs?
Well,
It makes sense. It's like that, like the cedar wood.
Protecting.
Yeah. I've added it with cedar wood. I like using cedar wood. I like the smell of cedar wood. And you'll find that sometimes different bugs respond differently to different oils. We have peppermint. Sometimes we use melaleuca, great for like lice. So there's another oil for your arsenal. We should do we should have a class on bugs.
Yes. Yeah. All right, let's go to the mind. Vetiver is the oil of centering and descent. So that makes sense, doesn't it? Okay, the negative emotions, it helps shift out, is apathetic, disconnected, scattered. All right, how many scattered brains do we have here? All of us. Okay, stressed, ungrounded, avoiding, and crisis. And that's really interesting with crisis. So do you know anyone with, kids that they have a dramatic hissy fit and they skew reality? So sometimes something so little can just make them have an emotional meltdown. Okay, so if you have friends that have children that are like that, throwing tantrums over something small, it's not because they're just naughty. Sometimes it's just their disconnection in the brains. I know that kids that have these learning difficulties, when you ask them, point to your nose, right? They don't even have a connection of their face. So they had to kind of feel around and then they find their nose. So that's what I'm saying. It's not like they mean it, but it's because their brain waves and the communication between the cells in the brain is not working too well. And this is where this oil comes in. And I'm very excited about it because we use it a lot for kids when we talk about kids that have attention concerns. All right, I tell my friends to do that all the time, to put that on the big toes of the kids and make sure, you cross your body. So your left hand goes to your right toes and your right hand goes to your left toes, and then it just crosses so that the electrical pulses cross over. And that's really, really important. Even adults too, if we can't really think straight, we can't remember stuff, this might be something you want to do. Okay, just to help connect things again, right? Because we do have a world that's quite toxic, and things that we eat, things that we smell, it might interrupt our thinking, and it doesn't have to be that way. Okay, so very, very big thing is like people that have crisis in their head. They wind themselves up so tightly. Sometimes they don't see the big perspective, and things might be blown out of proportion. So Vetiver calms everything down and helps people see things in a better perspective. So it's grounding, it's centering, helps you be present and emotionally aware and connected. Okay.
So I can't remember, is Vetiver in balance? I don't think it is, right?
No, it's not. No. But we have wood in there. So wood, cedar wood, those are like cousins. Yeah, those are cousins to the Vetiver.
So when working to go ahead and help with connection, do you think that it would be best to add balance and Vetiver together in a roller blend?
Yes.
Okay.
That's really good, and you can throw in Intune too. I just think get all the arsenal, the oils in your arsenal, and just take it out and ready to go. I tell you, there's some fantastic stories that would just melt your heart. Some families, the kids can start speaking now. They're a lot calmer. But the thing is, you just have to do it consistently. You just have to remember to do it. There's not a lot of stuff out there that will help. You have drugs that stimulate to the kids. There's drugs that suppress and sedate. That's all. And the real kid inside is just not there, right? So I had this lady, she came to my house and we were going to go and do a session in my office. We didn't even make it in. The kid just ran around the house and banged things and picked up things and whacked it. And And she apologized. She said, I haven't put him on the drugs for 3 days because I just want you to see how he is. And so that's okay, come here and I'll show you some oils. And so the kid came and I said, oh, put this on your toes, do it this way. I held one hand and I kind of crossed his body and helped him touch the other toes and did the opposite toes. And then had some oils and I said, do you like that smell? Do you like it? Yes. And the kid says, yes, yes. And he's all looking around, looking at something else and just very distracted. So I gave him a few minutes and then finally I said, sit down on this chair. And he sat down on the couch and I threw a bean bag at him. And I said, left hand catch, right hand catch, left hand catch, right hand catch. So he was focusing and he was catching and he was talking to me and he was answering. And the mom, she was watching this, she just burst out crying. And she said, Jade, he's never, ever done this before. And I said, well, here's your son. She's only known him being very sedated or, just hyper. And all over town. She said the teacher said that he was 9 when he came over to my house at that time, and the teacher said that he can only read 10 words. He can't focus. He can't do stuff, and they insist that he has medication. But right here, he was throwing the beanbag back and forth and talking to me, and sitting still and just talking. And this mom, she hugged her sister and they just sat there and cried and cried. And I thought, she saw how you can do it and you can do it. You keep doing that. Anyways, when they left, they decided, well, he's doing really well. He's focusing, he's talking, and he's calm. So maybe we could, but calm, it's not sedated calm, not like drugged up calm, right? He's still, having a conversation with people. So they thought, oh, maybe they can try something new. So they took him to a cafe to have lunch. Because where we were in Australia, you have to drive an hour to town. So now that they're in town, they thought they'd have lunch before they go home. And so after lunch, they texted me a big, long text. And they said, Jay, we were sitting here at lunch and he was talking and he was reading the menu. And she said, I didn't know he could read. And the teacher said he only can read 10 words. And they just, thank you, thank you, thank you, all these wonderful things. And they said, we'll do it, Jade, we'll follow through, we'll do it. So that was a Friday. So she drove home to her state, and that was 2 states away. And Monday morning, after she dropped off the kids at school, she texted me, the mom, and she said, Jade, he got up at the right time, and he got himself dressed and ready, and we were out the door by 8:30. She said it's never, ever happened before. So she just praised and thanked, and it was so simple. It was so simple, but to see these families have such relief with something so natural, that is life-changing, right? So I do have a post on things that I do for these kids that have disconnections. And if you just type in connected kids in the search bar on my website, you see other, protocols, things that I do. But that was just a start for her. So within a few days, that difference was amazing. Okay, so that's Vetiver, helping with the brain connection and the clarity and the focus. All right, anything, you have any questions, comments, guys?
Anybody else have similar experiences with Vetiver and hyperactive, or Debbie is shaking her head?
I know it all too well.
You've all heard my story, probably. Go ahead.
I just think it's so exciting to be able to do that for people. Well, I just have my friend Dawn across the street. She might even be on the call. I don't know if she's listening, but we helped her daughter with focus concerns and attention concerns at school, and because they were considering medications, and she said, no, I want to do something natural. And that's right. Like literally that week that they were considering it is when we connected and we were able to introduce the focus blend, and Peaceful Child, which has vetiver in it, and used those oils to help her daughter. And she literally did a 180 in a month's time. So,
Dawn, are you here?
Anyway, it's amazing.
That's great, Debbie.
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She, get on.
Huh?
There you are.
Yeah, she went from getting in trouble, and I'd always have to go into the teacher, for the report cards and talk to him about how she couldn't be still and she couldn't be quiet. And she had, I think by the end of the year, she had perfect report cards. And so she hasn't had a bad one since.
Don't we all wish we could find an oil that makes all our problems go away? That's a fantastic story.
That's really
Thanks,
cool.
Dawn.
Well, I just used it on my daughter who was having a meltdown, like literally. That's why I was not here for a moment. And put it on her toes, and now she is sound asleep.
Anti-meltdown.
I did add rose because that's her favorite. So I put a little rose down her cheek and then put the vetiver on her, and now she's asleep.
You know how people have squirt guns for cats and stuff? And put some vetiver in there and for a squirt gun and say, down, down, down. Good ideas.
Oh, dear. Debbie Gordon, did you want to say something?
Well, I think I shared this in a previous call, but the very first night I had Peggy Smith teaching my first class, I bought her vetiver off of her on the spot for this very concern of just calming the storm and calming my boys down. And it made a huge difference for my oldest that very night. He was able to go from bouncing off the walls to literally calming down and asking to go to sleep. And he was always my one that would read till the wee hours of the morning because he could not calm his brain. And so I can't say enough about vetiver. And as we're listening to stories tonight, this is why we share doTERRA. And we cannot hold this to ourselves. We cannot. We have an obligation to get out there and share this. There's so many looking for answers.
I don't know if many of you know Debbie has 16 boys. And I think doTERRA has a special account where you can buy vetiver in a gallon.
If they run around, it looks like
it's
16.
piped through the house.
Yeah, put it through the veins.
Thanks, Debbie. She's got 4 or 5 boys.
5.
It's enough.
Yeah. So it's for us too, for mental clarity and to relieve absent-mindedness. You walk into the room and you think, "Why did I come in here?" Let's backtrack. Okay, so vetiver 4 drops, peppermint 3 drops, frankincense 3 drops. Okay, and mix that together with fractionated coconut oil, and then you pour it out and then rub it on your neck and use it as many times a day as you need to, just to help you make all that connection again. Okay.
We call that anti-absent-mindedness. Say that 3 times.
Yeah.
If you can't say that, you need the blend.
Yeah. So this is, of course, great for attention and focus. We talked about that a lot. Rub it on the big toes, earlobes, forehead, the back of your neck. Okay, when you rub it across your forehead, it helps cross all the meridians. So that's fantastic. It's great for calming. So you can use vetiver and myrrh. So 1-to-1 ratio. And this is Dr. Susan Lawton. She said that if you put that blend in the back of your knees, it will start to just absorb over time throughout the day, and then you can reapply if you like, but it just helps keep you calm. I didn't know that. I tried that today and it really worked. Okay. Sometimes, I don't know about you, but I wake up in the morning and I think, so much to do. And in my head, I've got this list and I go through it in my head and I'm thinking I'm doing it all already now. And this will just helps you be grounded and more balanced. My friend, her son just started kindergarten and he was very hyper and he was very naughty, and the kids, his teacher told her that she really needs to take him to see a doctor or something. Just need to fix this. This is quite disruptive. So she came to me and said, I don't want to use any drugs on him. He has something. So I gave her Vetiver and frankincense, and she's like, oh, okay, I'll try some. She didn't want to buy it. She didn't believe it. It was just too simple. So she used it, and the whole week went by, and he got good behavior awards. And she said, wow, that's such a coincidence. And so she's using it every morning. So such a coincidence. And then she decided, you know what, I'm going to stop using the oils and see if it's really a coincidence. And so that week the teacher's like, what happened? What changed? And he's jumping off the walls again. And she's like, oh, okay, it wasn't a coincidence. And she went back to using the oils. And, she admitted to me that she didn't believe it, but it worked. So try that, you guys. Okay. Balance, great for balance. So you can put it on the back of your ears as well. Okay, just because it helps with the brain connections. Okay, on the bones, you can do that. Tension. Okay, 3 drops of vetiver, 1 drop of patchouli, 3 drops of wild orange, and 2 drops of ylang ylang. Okay, so just smelling it. It just when our brain is so wound up, it's so tense, and just you feel it in your head. Smell that to help relax, okay? There's a bath, a stress reduction bath here with half a cup of Epsom salt, 2 drops of lavender, 2 drops of cypress, 1 drop of geranium, and 1 drop of Siberian fir, and 1 drop of vetiver. So those are fun blends that you might want to just try and see for yourself. Like I said, with my friend, lavender didn't work for her, and she needed vetiver. So if one blend doesn't work, try this another blend. Okay, so for the OCD people, the obsessive overthinking people, here's an oil blend for you. 2 drops of vetiver, 4 drops of sandalwood. Okay, these 2 oils are fantastic for the brain. Okay, and then you can put it across your forehead again, on your ears, the back of your neck. Okay, that's that. Just preoccupation with just details, minor details. So it's very similar to the obsessive thinking. Here's a separate blend, 3 drops of frankincense, 2 drops of vetiver, and 1 drop of lemon. You combine that and smell. Alrighty, so that is the mind. All right, anybody else want to add to it? Or anything?
Okay. I was just going to ask, because I noticed on one of the things you didn't mention how to use it, but then I've noticed, I was going to say, so anything you don't mention, do you mean is that to inhale? Then I've noticed other ones you've said combine and inhale.
Yes.
So, so I was just trying to, because that's one of the things I'm having the most problems with when I look up things online of how to use oils, is they'll mention the oils, but then they won't necessarily say how to use it, like whether it's best inhaled or put on skin or even taken. So that's the thing I'm having problems with.
Okay, so let's think about this. This is for the brain and the mind. So the best thing for it is to smell and inhale and get it into the brains. Yeah? So that's usually how we use it. If we talk about the body, I'd rub it on, or I'll put it in a capsule and take it internally. So you have to think about your issue and think about, wait, how do I want to deliver the oils? Because all our oils really very therapeutic. If you put it on you, it's in you. Okay? And it's good for you. In that way, the oils are smart and very adapting, so it will travel to where it needs to go. Right? So you have the same oil, but 2 people with 2 different problems, it will do the 2 different things for you. So it's very intelligent in that way. But you've got to think, this is for the mind. This is for people that are tense and overwhelmed and wound up. This is to unwind them. So what do I do with it? The best thing to do is smell it. Get it into your brains ASAP, right? And that's the best way. It doesn't go through your central nervous system. That's really good point, guys. If you see a recipe online and you think, well, that's a good blend, what do I do? That's what you do, okay? And so when we talk about spirit, you can use the oils, all right? All of those oils are great for physical, for emotional, but you can still use it for the physical level as well. And when you do that, it's smelling and it's helping your brain rewire, okay? So you're using something, a physical something, right, to help you rewire, reconnect the brains. The more we rewire, the more I think, things fire together, it wires together, right? So if you're smelling and you're thinking, I'm going to think this way, over time, you've retrained your brains. Okay, because a lot of us, we have habits, bad habits. We think this, we eat that, and it makes us feel this way. Or why don't we do the same very consciously with the oils? Okay, so spiritually, with the oil Vetiver, because we're talking about it today, it helps us make all connections in the body. Okay, when we scatterbrain, our body's trying to talk to us, but we're not getting the messages. So it just helps rewire everything, you know, like an electrician going in there and going, oh, connect, 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 connect. Now do you feel hungry? Now do you feel sorry, you know, very tired? Now do you feel this? And oh, look at all those senses. Now you can take everything in and then be able to store it and remember it, right? So it's a great electrician in my mind, right? But most importantly, it helps us be aware that we're not happy, or aware that we're so stressed. Because sometimes people, that's their norm. They're always at a stress level, a very high stress level. And I think that's how life is. Like my friend, she said, oh yeah, I sleep well, 5.5 hours. You know, and then when you start using the oils, then you think, oh, that's a new level of happy. That's a new level of sleep. That's a new level of spirituality that I didn't realize I could have. I promise you guys, if you use the oils on a daily basis, you have more spiritual connections. Okay, so that's all that I have to share about Vetiver. Anyone else want to say anything?
Yes, so I was going to share this earlier, but I wasn't sure if it fit. I'm going to share it with Under Spirit. So it's for like an earth meditation if you want to connect with the earth more, or just become more in tune with your surroundings, I guess, if you're outside. I usually apply myrrh, cedarwood, and vetiver onto my big toe, or my feet, back of the neck, and tailbone, and then I meditate, and that just helps with the deep connection with whatever you want to connect with, and over the heart too. I forgot over with some, like geranium and cedarwood. Very good for connecting with them.
Yeah, and because we're in the brain sometimes too much. We think too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the rest of our body says, hey, I'm good, I'm happy with this, or let's just go for this. My heart says yes. And you think, wait, let me think about it. And honestly, we don't have all the answers for everything, and we really have to honor that heart and the gut feelings and just go for it. That's fantastic. Thank you. Yep. All those wonderful places to help you feel grounded. We have a little handout there if you guys want to print that out.
For those of you who may not have been on this call before, there's always a PDF here with the top 10 uses. And there's lots and lots of uses for an essential oil. Jay's just chosen her top 10 that she likes, and you know, from all the stories that collected over the years. So thank you everybody for joining us for Vetiver. Any other last minute things? I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording.
Thank you for joining us.
And then we'll get into our next topic.